G'day YouTube, it's Brett here from Overtime Gaming with you once again, and welcome to our WWE 13 Universe mode for Thursday Night Ring of Honor. We've got some awesome matchups on tonight's card. We get the night underway. This is the final episode of Ring of Honor before our Best of the World pay-per-view on Saturday. So I hope you're all looking forward to that one. Of course, Sunday is the Great American Bash pay-per-view for WWE Raw as well. So I hope you're joining us for that one. But let's get tonight underway. As you see, our opening matchup between Lowkey and Zack Sabre Jr. Sabre Jr. being absolutely outstanding since joining for us on Ring of Honor. He broke the arm of Tony Nese in his debut. He then went on an injured ACH in his second match. He's beat AR Fox. He's beat Johnny Gargano. He's also beat Matt Hardy and Matt Taven, and now he is facing Lowkey, a big superstar in Ring of Honor. Big win if he picks up the victory here over Lowkey. He's probably already pushing up there for #1 contendership of the Ring of Honor World TV title after the pay-per-view with his win over Matt Hardy. So a win here could definitely cement him in that title picture going forward. And you see Zack Sabre Jr. starting to make his own in this matchup. He has been a bit on the abusive side from Lowkey so far in this match, but right now Zack Sabre Jr. on the offensive. He goes for the cross arm breaker, but it is the rope break that was almost the end for Lowkey there, but Lowkey gets lucky as he's right next to the ropes, and Zack Sabre Jr. can't pick up the victory, as again a rope break breaks up the count there for the pin. Big powerbomb there by Zack Sabre Jr. on Lowkey. And now again Zack Sabre Jr. going for the cross arm breaker, but again Lowkey is lucky. He has his foot on the rope there and is now taking it to Zack Sabre Jr. But Sabre Jr. with that big powerbomb again, he is getting angry now and he is calling for the end here on Lowkey. Lowkey is probably not going to be lucky this time around, as he is right in the middle of the ring, and there you see the cross arm breaker cinched in, and the torque now being applied onto Lowkey's arm right now. Lowkey's going nowhere. He's got to tap out here. There's no escape from this. And that is the end of the matchup. As you see, Zack Sabre Jr. another submission victory here, as he now looks like he is going to abuse Lowkey. He's stepping out the ring here and pulls a chair out from underneath the ring. What the hell is Zack Sabre Jr. got in mind here, as he's placing it around the ankle of Lowkey. He could be looking to break it, but you look at the ramp, it's Tony Nese. Tony Nese is back and he is charging to the ring. The man that Zack Sabre Jr. broke his arm is charging to the ring, and he's coming for payback, and he is taking it to Zack Sabre Jr. and he throws him out the ring. What a welcome back for Tony Nese. Could this be a sign for a match at the pay-per-view, as he saves Lowkey from certain broken ankle there, taking out Zack Sabre Jr. Awesome return for Tony Nese there. We'll have to see what happens in the future. Now we have a huge matchup in our next match here between Jay Lethal, the former Ring of Honor World Champion, going up against Davey Richards, one half of the American Wolves? Yeah, sorry about that guys, I completely blanked. The American Wolves, but more of a singles wrestler at the moment. We haven't seen much of Eddie Edwards, but he's been wrestling Michael Elgin of late and has now come up against Jay Lethal. Two superstars in Ring of Honor going against one another, and you see both with huge technical ability just taking it to one another and just slamming each other into the mat here. Suplex after suplex, just abusing each other's body. And each man coming back with a move of their own. The huge snap suplex there by Davey Richards. But Jay Lethal with his signature move here just flips Davey Richards over with ease and slams his face into the mat there. Great move by Jay Lethal, as he now big powerbomb into the mat. He could be nearing the end here, but Davey Richards holding his own with the big suplex on to Jay Lethal there, and now slams Jay Lethal into the mat with that bit of an alternate STO there, the edited STO. Great move there, but then the huge suicide dive by Jay Lethal, and now Jay Lethal with that big snap move there slams Davey Richards into the mat. That could be it. 1, 2, 3. Jay Lethal picks up a huge win over Davey Richards there. But you see the two men celebrating with each other. There's huge respect between the two men as they look up to the ramp as Michael Elgin's music hits here. Both men are confused and have no idea what's going on right now. But Elgin is behind them. He has moved his way through the crowd and is now attacking the two men in the ring. He has taken it to Davey Richards. He has slams Davey Richards into the mat. Could this be something that's going to go forward into the pay-per-view? We'll have to see, as Michael Elgin has just laid out both Jay Lethal and Davey Richards. We have to move on to our next match of the evening now. It's our third match of the evening, and it's tag team action between two TNA and Ring of Honor legends and originals in AJ Styles, the Phenomenal One, and Samoa Joe, the Samoan Submission Machine. Two absolute legends of the indie circuit tagging together tonight like they have many times in history, going up against Generation Next, of course, Austin Aries, who is a Ring of Honor legend himself, and Roderick Strong, who is also a Ring of Honor superstar. The two team as Generation Next. They took it to Michael Elgin and Brian Cage, which that feud had to end because of an injury to Brian Cage. So Generation Next were kind of left in the dark for a bit there, with no one being able to feud with them until they have found this matchup with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. We'll have to see what comes from this, but right now AJ Styles and Samoa Joe just taking it to Generation Next. And you see the matchup has moved to the outside with AJ and Roderick Strong battling in the ring. Samoa Joe taking it to Austin Aries outside, and now suplexes Austin Aries through the announce table here, and now Joe is getting the chair. He's got to realise this is a DQ match. Oh, and he slams the chair into the stomach of Austin Aries, and then the DDT on the chair, and the team of AJ and Joe are disqualified. And AJ is livid here. He is going nuts at Samoa Joe right now. He is so annoyed. He knew they had this match won, and Joe just ruined it here. But Joe doesn't care. He's celebrating in the ring, celebrating the fact he just destroyed Austin Aries. AJ has stormed off, and we'll have to see what happens with that in future weeks. We move on to our fourth match of the evening. This is another huge match. We've got one part of Scum and Jimmy Jacobs, the high-flying Jimmy Jacobs. Of course, the former tag team partner with Seth Rollins, former tag team champions with Seth Rollins, formerly Tyler Black, who of course was a superstar here in Ring of Honor before joining NXT and eventually going to WWE as one half of the Shield. But Jimmy Jacobs now part of Scum. As we haven't seen too much of him in recent weeks, because we haven't seen too much of Scum since the last pay-per-view when they got beat by Homicide and Lowkey. But he's going up against one half of the tag team champions here in Ricochet, who hasn't seen too much tag team matchups since the pay-per-view, because he is also the #1 contender for the Adam Cole's TV title, and he will be challenging for that at the Best in the World pay-per-view. So he's had to drop tag team hopes at the moment. So the tag team titles are still in the hands of the Inner City Machine Guns, that is Rich Swann and Ricochet, but they are not being defended at the next pay-per-view, as Ricochet is focusing on singles career at the moment, which Rich Swann completely understands. But you see Ricochet taking it to Jimmy Jacobs here. He needs this victory as a momentum victory going into the pay-per-view. His high-flying maneuvers are just destroying Jimmy Jacobs there. The huge Hurricane Rana to the outside now, and he is just taking it to Jimmy Jacobs. The springboard moves, he is throwing himself all over the ring here, and now going to the top rope, and it is the moonsault. This could be it. One, but no, Jacobs manages to kick out of the 1 count, but Ricochet slamming Jacobs back into the mat with the drag of the leg there, throws him down, and now going to the top rope again, and it is the moonsault again. 1, 2, 3. Ricochet picks up the win here. A huge momentum win for Ricochet, and Adam Cole definitely has to be worried. Ricochet has destroyed him in recent weeks, and of course Ricochet earned his #1 contenders matchup by beating Adam Cole before the last pay-per-view. So Ricochet has to have high hopes going into the pay-per-view. Now you see we have a Paul London interview here. Paul London, I have made a decision as champion. My title defense on Saturday will be a 4-way with CM Punk, Jay Briscoe and Christopher Daniels. That is a huge match announcement we've just heard from Paul London himself. He will be defending his Ring of Honor World title in a fatal 4-way at the Best in the World pay-per-view against Christopher Daniels. The Fallen Angel, of course, won the #1 contendership at the last pay-per-view by beating Samoa Joe, AJ Styles and Jay Lethal. Then, of course, Jay Briscoe, who, of course, is the former Ring of Honor World Champion, who lost his title at the last pay-per-view to Paul London, so still has a rematch clause. And CM Punk, who, of course, is the WWE Champion, who resigned from the WWE but left as WWE Champion. So still technically in his eyes, he is the WWE Champion and deserves a straight shot at the Ring of Honor World title. Because of that, and because it's the best in the world pay-per-view, all three men get a shot at Paul London's title. He is a fighting champion and he's not afraid to defend his title. Last week on Ring of Honor, the show ended with Daniel Bryan, the now WWE Champion, invading our show and actually destroying CM Punk with a pipe. So we'll have to see what happens with that in future weeks and what Punk has to say for that at the end of the show. But right now, Punk's got to focus on this match with another #1 contender in Jay Briscoe. But he's got the Anaconda Vice locked in here. This could be end. He is right in the middle of the ring. And he's got this locked in tight and huge amounts of torque right now. But Jay Briscoe escapes with a kick to the head there. But CM Punk looking to take it to him. But Jay Briscoe rolls him up here. 1, 2. Punk manages to kick out of the 2 count. Lucky for Punk there. And he is now getting slammed into the mat by Jay Briscoe. Now Briscoe putting up one hell of a fight right now, and he's going for the pinfall victory, but it's only a 1 count as Punk kicks out very early there. And now the big kick to the face on Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe is out right now. He has been bust wide open and he is out. He is completely out cold. There is no movement in the face of Jay Briscoe. Punk going for the pin and picks up the 3 count on the big kick to Jay Briscoe's face. Briscoe is still not moving, but Punk doesn't care. Punk celebrating in the middle of the ring now, and he's come over here actually and grabbed a microphone. We'll have to see what he has to say. Go face! That's right, Brian. You blindsided me last week and you have made me angry. After I win the Ring of Honor World title on Saturday, I'm coming for you, and you will regret the day you messed with the best in the world.